Hello and welcome to Fast Horses Today for Saturday. Today is July 20th and this is part 2 of opening day at Del Mar. So let's get started at Del Mar with the second half of the card. So we've got the second half of the card, a late pick 5, which starts in the 7th race. 7th race has approximate post time of 7:13 here in the Central Time, so it's nighttime racing, and it's 5:13 Pacific Time. And 7th race starts off that late pick 5. So let's get going here. That's the Oceanside. Now the Oceanside is always the opening day feature for the Del Mar Thoroughbred meet in the summer. This year, since they started on a Saturday, they got to share that top billing with the San Clemente for the girls. And the reason they're doing that, I believe, is because they're starting on a Saturday. They got to run the San Clemente to give them enough time to get ready for the Del Mar Oaks later in the meet. So they've got 2 features today. Double the fun for us, that's for sure. All right, so let's get started. 7th race is the Oceanside, as I mentioned. Oceanside's a mile on the grass. Now, this is a $100,000 race. It's a restricted race. So, you know, the restriction here is for horses who have not won a sweepstakes of $50,000 or over at a mile. So what that does, that really just kind of threads the needle for a horse like King of Gosford. That's the 3 horse. He's the program favorite. Now, King of Gosford's run 3 times here in the States since they brought him over from Europe, Phil D'Amato barn. And he run at Santa Anita 3 times. Ran once on the flat, 6 furlong sprint, got the job done in an allowance race, and then went on to win 2 stakes down the hill. You know, ended up winning the John Shear down the hill and also won the Desert Code. And those are both $100,000 races, but because they're not a mile or over, makes him qualify in this race. So, you know, in watching this horse in his replays, I was wondering maybe he doesn't want to go the distance. But as I watched him more, this horse, you know, he ran up close to the lead on the downhill course, but he ran very relaxed, and it makes me think like this horse certainly has more to give, and a mile should be no problem for him. So at 5-2, got to put him in here. Then I'm also going to put 2 other horses in this race. I'm going to put the 8 horse, who is Scatify, for John Sadler. And, you know, this horse is really a confusing horse to me. I mean, I'm sure he's confusing to the barn as well. This horse shows just a lot of raw ability, and it ends up causing his own problems because of that raw ability. So, you know, they put him once on the turf. It was a 6 furlong sprint back in May. And he got beat by his stablemate, Island Cruiser, who's also in this race. But, you know, I'm going to throw that race out. It looks to me like, you know, they were just trying to figure out what's best for this horse, because he just seems to be just very difficult to manage and to just harness his energy. So looks like, you know, they wanted to see, can they put him on the grass and will he run? And he did run well. I just don't know that sprinting is what he wants to do. So, you know, I like his last race. He ran in the firm race, ran second to Parenting, who's a Bob Baffert horse. And Parenting might very well be Bob Baffert's best horse in his barn, Parenting. That horse was going to get pointed for the Haskell today, but I think he turned up a little sick, so he's not running there. But this horse ran a nice race with Parenting. He's 8-1. If this horse puts it together and can show that he wants to run on the turf, which he has shown, you know, it might be lights out for this field. This horse is 8-1. Hector Berrios has to figure out how to ride this horse. You know, he won with him before, but then didn't have luck his other couple times. But we'll go with him. Berrios we trust. Then I'm also going to put the 10 horse, was Rothschild. Now Rothschild comes out of the Tim Yakteen barn. Big purchase. This horse is a $700,000 purchase. And, you know, he's run some nice races. He likes the Del Mar air because horse broke his maiden at Del Mar last year in a maiden race on the dirt. And, you know, in his final race of last year, they put him in the Cecil B. DeMille, which is a mile race at Del Mar, a grade 3. The horse ran a really, really nice race. Had a great trip, inside trip, no trouble, no adversity there, but finished on well and just got beat by Stay Hot. And we've seen Stay Hot win a few times over this circuit, so, you know, losing to Stay Hot, certainly there's no shame in that, because Stay Hot's a pretty nice horse. So Rothschild at 12-1. Kazushi Kimura, who's going to be riding at Del Mar this summer, we welcome him back. He always does nice work at Santa Anita during the winter, but he decided to come for the summer at Del Mar, so it's a great move. I wish him the best of luck. He's a very, very nice rider. So in that first leg in the 7th race, we've got the 3, the 8, and the 10. All right, now let's move over to the 8th race. 8th race is a maiden race at 6 furlongs on the dirt. And This is 3-year-olds and up. And honestly, there's some nice horses in here, but also these nice horses haven't gotten it done. So I'm beginning to wonder if horses like the 2-horse Miramati and the 6-horse Santarena, maybe these horses have just developed the punching bag syndrome, the tomato can syndrome, that they're just out there to just get beat by other horses, and they just don't seem to win, because both of them have certainly nice credentials and look like they should be breaking their maidens, but they don't seem to get it done. And those are the first 2 choices in this race. So I'm going to definitely put them in. I've got 5 horses here. I've got the 2-horse Miramati, going to put him in. Going to put the 5 horses, the first starter for the Mark Glatt barn. This is a big purchase. They paid over $500,000 for this horse. This horse shows some nice works. They put Kyle Frey on the horse. We know Frey likes to get a horse out, and maybe that's the goal here, is get this horse out sharp and keep going. Then I'm going to put the other Mark Glatt, who I mentioned, Santarena. This is the program favorite. Now, this horse has definitely run some really nice races and gotten beat by some really good horses as well. But, as I mentioned, I don't know if that means this horse is ready to go today, or if this horse has just developed the seconditis and, kind of that tomato can syndrome. But I will put the horse in here, Santarena. Then I'm going to also put the 7 horses, Anger. Anger comes out of the Bob Baffert barn. Baffert puts out 3 horses here, and I'm going to put them all. So 7 horses, Kazushi Kimura, rides the horse, 10-1 in the program. Horse ran one time back in May, kind of ran an even race, was on the turf. And my guess is Baffert probably didn't want to put the horse on the turf, but, they weren't filling races all too well at times at Santa Anita, so you had to, run them where they carded them. So this horse has 1 race, 6 furlongs on the grass, but definitely shows some nice works on the dirt. I think this, dirt's probably what this horse wants to do. And then I'm going to put the 9 horse, who is Dagger Ranch, also out of the Bob Baffert barn. And this horse came out one time last summer. Got bet on a little bit, was about 3-1 that day. Ran a nice race, got beat by some nice horses in Mission Beach. Mission Beach was really nice last year. And I see also Stay Hot was in that race as well. We mentioned Stay Hot, nice performer on the turf, but Stay Hot ran well. Coming third in that race. So I'll give Dagger Ranch a chance here. This horse is by Curlin out of Indian Blessing. And, we know Bob Baffert has trained a lot of the family there with Indian Blessing by Indian Charlie, which he trained Indian Charlie as well. So certainly familiar with that bloodline, Bob Baffert would be. That horse is 8-1. So we've got 5 horses in that race trying to find a price here. We've got the 2, the 5, the 6, the 7, and the 9. Now let's move to the co-feature, which actually is the feature. This is a grade 2, the San Clemente, so we're going to give the San Clemente its due and call it the feature. This is a mile on the grass for 3-year-old fillies, and I have a single here. In previous editions of Fast Horses Today, you probably heard me talk about a horse named Medoro, and Medoro is just really, really nice horse. I mean, she's 4 for 4. She's the 10 horse here. She's 8-5. I'm going to make it very simple and single Medoro. This horse has just done nothing wrong in her career. I mean, when I see a horse can go first time out, wins 5 furlongs at Del Mar closing, running like a pro. She won 5 furlongs on the grass. And then she follows that up with, her most recent race, a mile and an eighth on the grass. So when a horse could win 5 furlongs and win at miles and then win at a mile and an eighth, that just shows that this really true quality horse here. So she's 4 for 4. Her last race she ran was in the Providencia, which is a grade 3. And I mentioned in part 1 opening day here that was kind of a strangely run race. I mean, nobody really wanted the lead. And probably about 16th mile out of the starting gate, Freysu just kind of jolted the Medoro and just kind of put her in close, and it seemed she definitely responded. She ran up close and ended up beating Shiloh's Mistress by a nose, and it's a nose win, but I think Medoro has a whole lot left, a lot more to give. And this mile distance, I think maybe is what she wants to do more than running a little longer. So a mile certainly I think is her benefit. And, she's 8-5. She's, like I said, done nothing wrong. And honestly, today, I think this will be the star of the day. I think she's going to put out the best race of the day of these 11 races at Del Mar. So I think we'll see something special here. So I'm going to single Medoro. I'm also in that race. She's 8-5. If you want to bet her to win, feel free if you feel like doing that. I'm going to play an exacta and trifecta. I'm going to go with the 10 on top of the 4, 7, 9, and 12. I'm going to play that in the exacta and as well as a trifecta. So again, that was the 10 on top of the 4, 7, 9, and 12. And, Maduro, I think, is going to win the 9th race. So let's go to the 10th race. 10th race is a 6.5 on the dirt. It's a first level allowance race. And, some interesting horses here. Horses have been kind of, knocking around in the maiden special ranks and been running in some of these allowance races and running in some of these in the starter allowance races. So I've got 4 horses here that I'm going to put in. I'm going to put the 1 horse who was Yellow Brick for Richard Mandella. Now, normally I wouldn't like the rail in these dirt sprints, but I just feel like this feels a little bit suspect, and Yellow Brick should have the ability to overcome that post and run a good effort. Now he's 3-1 in the program, so certainly no secret there. But I look in the PPs, and Yellow Brick's best race comes at a 1-turn event. He ended up winning a big race at 7 furlongs at Santa Anita and breaking his maiden, and ran a huge speed figure there. Generally they've been running this horse at 2 turns, but it makes me wonder, maybe this horse wants to run 1 turn. So that's why I think Yellow Brick might be dangerous. I'm going to put grudgingly, I'm going to put the 3-horse Thornhouse in this race. I was going to throw this horse out, but I just, I figure let's put this in. It's some races, and when you're playing the pick 5, some races are just survive and advance. Some races you can make a stand, you have a strong opinion, you single a horse, you might put 2 horses. Other races, sometimes you got to put horses you may not want just to survive and advance your ticket. So Thornhouse would be that. Thornhouse is 2-1, the program favorite, but I kind of wonder. I know this horse ran some very nice races back in Del Mar in 2022, but I've been running on the turf over his last several races, and has 1 start this year. Ended up coming second in a turf sprint. Now, folks that watch film, they're going to see this horse kind of blew the start and ended up coming second. So that's going to make this horse probably get overbet. But I don't know. I just wonder. Dirt. He's taking on some horses that may be better. We'll see, but I'll put the horse in. I'm also going to put the 4 horse who is Navy Man. Navy Man is 9-2 out of the Michael McCarthy barn. Juan Hernandez takes the call. Now, Hernandez is probably going to be the jock that everyone's looking at this meet, and probably be fighting for the leading jockey of the meet for this summer. So, this horse is 9-2. He's certainly capable. Has run some nice races on the dirt and has run some races that you kind of wonder. But, this horse is coming off a pretty long layoff. Has a pretty nice work tab over at San Luis Rey. So, they've been training this horse over at San Luis Rey, which is, it's definitely a place where horses can get ready and win at Del Mar when you see horses training at San Luis Rey. So, Michael McCarthy, absolutely a capable trainer. And, this horse, 9-2, he fits. We'll put this horse in. And then finally, I'm going to put the 8 horse, who is Tranch. Now, Tranch is trained now by Adam Kitchenman. This horse originally was with Louis Mendez, which, we know Louis Mendez is all about speed, getting young horses out, and doing well with them. And he certainly did that with this horse. Last year, this horse, I remember, upset the apple cart at a big stakes day at Santa Anita, ended up winning the Fasig Tipton Juvenile at 20-1 as a maiden. So, horse showed high speed. And, after that race, they tried to take on, some of the bigger boys in the Best Pal, and, got blown out by Prince of Monaco, who was just a monster last summer. And then he ran in the Speakeasy 5 furlong grass race, which that's just a high-octane race over at Santa Anita last October. And the horse didn't really do much there. So something apparently happened. They shut this horse down for a while, and now they're bringing him out first time out since last December. Trainer switch. Boy, they did a whole lot of switching here. That trainer switch. They gelded him. They're taking the blinkers off. They're adding Lasix. I don't know. I mean, we're going to see if that's a recipe for success or you just got a bunch of mishmash there. But 15-1, I'll take a shot with Tranch. Maybe Tranch is just that has that high speed again and can just take this field from gate to wire. So I've got the 1, the 3, the 4, and the 8. All right, now let's go to the 11th race. 11th race, it's the day capper here. So this race is a 7:15 Pacific, so this is into the nighttime in my central time zone at 9:15. This is a maiden special weight. It's a mile on the grass, and this caps off a long day at Del Mar. Definitely a nice field of horses that have been put together for this last race, so kudos to the racing office there at Del Mar for putting this race together. This 3-year-olds and up, as I mentioned, made in special weights, going a mile. I've got 4 horses to try to cap off this pick 5 and cap off this day. Would love to have this live and have 4 horses to pay. So I've got, first of all, the 1 horse. The 1 is Broheim out of the Mike McCarthy barn. This horse has had 2 starts this year over at Santa Anita, once on the dirt. Ran first time out, just kind of ran an even race, ran with some nice horses in Ball Don't Lie and Santorena. This horse just, ended up running towards the end of the field, probably was just, let's get the horse out of the barn race. Then they ended up putting this horse on the turf, 6.5 on the flat. And the horse ran a nice race, came second. So we'll see. We'll give this horse a chance here at a mile from the 1 hole. Should get a good trip. Raylu Gutierrez rides the horse. Now, Raylu Gutierrez, shows up to California to ride regularly here at Del Mar. And, we're going to see how Raylu's jockey skills translate over there on the West Coast. So good luck to Raylu and, good luck to Broheim at 6-1. Then I've got the 3 horse, was Joy Rider. Joy Rider comes out of the Richard Mandela barn. Mike Smith takes the ride. Now, Mike Smith, I feel, is always dangerous on the grass, especially the grass. It seems like he uses his knowledge and his know-how to ride well on these grass races. Did a lot of good work at Santa Anita, so we'll see if we can translate that to Del Mar. This horse is 10-1 in the program for Richard Mandela. Bred for the grass with Kitten's Joy. Ended up, running one time back in June. Got beat by a horse named Senois, which I liked Senois that day. Senois was very ready to go and ended up winning that race. And, this horse just kind of ran an even race. Didn't get out that great. Kind of trailed and then just made a move into the stretch. So I feel like it was an education Smith gave this horse. 10-1, I feel like this horse, could improve off that 1 start. Then I'm going to put the 4 horse Bartholdi. Now, Bartholdi is a horse that I've liked several times, and I know I've talked about Bartholdi here on Fast Horses Today. Here's why I like him today. Simon Callahan, who had this horse, big purchase, couldn't win with him, put him into 50,000 claiming. Val Brinkerhoff claims the horse out of that race. Now Val's putting this horse back into special weights. So you know what? It'd be kind of funny to see Val Brinkerhoff, who's a smaller trainer, claiming a horse off of Simon Callahan and winning with this horse. So I'm going to take a shot, put this horse in, see if Val Brinkerhoff can improve this horse. I do believe this horse has ability, and he just wasn't getting it done over there in the Callahan barn. So 10-1, Jeremy Laprida. We're going to see what Laprida does here at Del Mar. It looks like he'll be riding here regularly. So putting him in. And then finally the 6 horse, who is Middleburg. Middleburg out of the Bob Baffert horse. Now this horse, big purchase, like most Bob Baffert horses are. This horse is by Tappet out of a stakes winner named Selcourt. Now Selcourt, I think, was trained by John Sadler, if I'm not mistaken. I remember she was a pretty nice horse there in California several years ago. So this was a nice purchase price, definitely a 6-figure purchase price. I think it says $485,000. This horse, they ran twice on the dirt. And here's why I like this horse today. She's 3-1 in the program. Last race she ran was on the turf. And, Baffert first-time turf is not usually a good thing, but this is second-time turf. I watched her race. She ran a really nice race that day. She ended up coming 3rd, but she seemed to be a little bit too keen and, kind of made a quick move to get to the lead at the top of the stretch with Hernandez and ended up getting beat, just before the wire. So I see they're taking the blinkers off, which looks like a smart move because the horse was very keen that day. And, I think that blinkers off, Hernandez keeps the ride, and another race on the turf. This horse, should be ready to go. If you're looking to play a smaller ticket and you want a single, Middleburg might be a horse to do that. But I do have the 1, the 3, the 4, and the 6 in this race. All right, so let's recap here. So at Del Mar, 7th race, we got the start of the pick 5, the late pick 5, and we got the 3, 8, 10 with the 2, 5, 6, 7, 9 with the 10. That's a single of Maduro in the 9th race. That's in the San Clemente. With the 1, 3, 4, 8. With the 1, 3, 4, 6 in the last race. That's a $120 ticket. So I'm going to go for it with the $120 ticket. It's opening day. I haven't been playing much, so we'll take a shot with that. That's the $120 ticket in the late pick 5. Earlier in part 1, we gave you the first pick 5 starting the first race, which was an $81 ticket. So about $200 can get you through these 2 pick 5s. And then also have the In the ninth race, I'm going to play the exacta and trifecta. King Maduro with the 4, 7, 9, 12. That's a key of the exacta. So for $2, that's $8. If you're going to play it for $1 for trifecta, that's $12. So that's $20 on those bets. All right. So as always, I wish you the best of luck. Let's get some good trips, and let's see some good, safe racing over at Del Mar. I wish them the best of luck for this meeting, and let's see some nice racing at Del Mar. As always, I ask you to please do me a favor, hit the subscribe button. Doesn't cost you anything, just gets you on the queue. So when new content comes up, you get notified. And, like, dislike, make comments. Let me know who you might like. Del Mar is a special meet. It's a special meet for me. I've, used to travel there and go to Del Mar quite a bit in my life. And, I might get there this year. We'll see. But as always, thank you very much for watching. Appreciate you for doing that. Thank you.